Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV of Frederick, Colorado. My name is Michaela. This morning I'm taking you guys through a custom build. So this one is not available. This one is sold. It was pre-ordered, designed to these customers' specifications, but I'm excited to kind of walk you guys through it, show you what options they chose, try and get you some creative ideas of what you guys can do with yours. This one is very well optioned out. I think I've probably stared at it and taken a million photos of it, and it's been here less than 24 hours. So it's pretty sweet. But before we get to the trailer here in person, I'm gonna take you guys through this drawing, just show you the overhead view and kind of what numbers we're looking at. We are 35 feet 9 inches on the floor. We have a 9-foot nose because of our front end enclosure. We have a 5-foot short wall with a 9-foot long wall on that front tack space. We're looking at 8 feet wide, 7'7" tall. With your integrated hay pod, you're looking at 7 feet of interior clearance in that stall area. But again, jam-packed with a bunch of options that you're not gonna be able to find on that drawing. If you guys have any questions on that drawing or the spec sheet, I'm glad to take you guys through it. My phone number is 303-918-6367. But let's go ahead and start right here at our front tack. Special request by these customers was the ramp on the side of the front tack. They've had a few of these trailers now, and this has been something that just keeps coming up on all of their trainers' trailers, is when they do this front tack, they love a man door on one side and a ramp access on the other. Just gives you guys a lot of versatility getting in and out, especially if you are dragging some show carts in there with you, dragging some vacuums up in there with you. I heard the other day about some customers that take fridges with them when they go show. They put a fridge kind of in their extra tack stall as their cooler for water and such. So if you guys are bringing a fridge with you, anything that you need to roll up in this tack room also just makes life a whole lot easier getting in and out all the time if you're not stepping up and down. You guys are carrying your saddles and your pads with you. It's going to be a lot more convenient to just run up this ramp right here and get straight into your saddles right here. But right here on our partition wall, you guys will see we've got all of our tack setup going on right here. One thing that has changed on this build from their previous one is going to be this blanket pull right here. Cimarron does this 10-pull blanket tree, which has been real popular, like in our trainers tacks, our side trailers, just getting you all of your pads. Their previous trailer had the pads on the door, which you guys will see in kind of our RTG or ready to go front tack rooms, which is great and convenient when you do have your door access, but having the ramp access now means you're grabbing your saddles from here and walking across to get to your pads. So this has been a big change on this build, was just having everything right here. All of these saddles and blankets are fully adjustable, as you guys know, on all of your Cimarrons. You can take your adjustable crescent wrench and just loosen your bolts top and bottom on your blanket bars or your saddle racks and slide these guys up and down wherever you want. If you wanted to space them out, if you wanted to take some off, kind of get you some more floor space, take them up to the ceiling, whatever it may be. Over here, if you guys want to space these out for more of your, I know my barrel saddles have pretty tall horns, cutters will have those tall horns, ropers, maybe some shorter horns, some ranch saddles, English saddles. You guys, if you want to squish these closer together and get some more on here, you guys have those options with these. But these are also located on these removable saddle posts. So all together, you guys can actually take all of this out. If you did not need this tack space right here, if you have English tack trunks you want to roll up in here and set on this wall, you guys have these options when you go full custom. But I love this setup right here as far as just climbing up your ramp, getting to everything you need, and getting back to your horses at those tie rings. You're also going to have 2 rows of bridle hooks back in this corner right here, high and low. And you guys will notice we did full carpet. We lined, insulated, and carpeted this entire front tack space. So your entire partition wall, as we work across, full carpet back there. And we're gonna have 2 more rows of bridle hooks over here, high and low, also right inside this door. So all of your main bridles, headstalls, nose bands, extra rein sets, whatever, you guys have high and low options right here. Another thing you guys are gonna notice, a trending theme on this trailer is gonna be lights. We've got lights everywhere, inside, outside, up high. We're gonna have OptiBrite over this door, and then we're checking out this one up in the nose as well. This is kind of a new location. You guys will typically see when we do those OptiBrites up in the nose, we position them way up at the front of the nose, facing towards you into this tack space right here. This has been real popular with this customer, is to have it up flat on the roof facing down, because it's going to give you the visibility into your nose, into this tack space. I mean, if you're not really sleeping out of this space, you're not going to be staring up at that light. This is mostly going to be storage up in here. It's going to shine over that space versus you right now would be staring in the light if it were up there in the nose, kind of like staring into the sun with these Optobrights. So this just positions it a little bit better for your visibility. You guys are going to see all the way around this trailer. We have, again, as I said, it's lined and insulated and carpeted. So it's going to be really comfortable in here. If you did need to spend a night, you've got those sliding bus windows on each side for ventilation, but also for just storing stuff up in here. It's going to keep your trailer, just gives it that finished look, makes it look nice, and keeps it looking nice as you do store stuff in here. I know up in my Cimarron, I've got Rubbermaid tubs full of stuff. They get to sliding around a little bit. They don't really come off of here. The carpet kind of keeps them pretty well set, but then I get in there and I'm searching for stuff and I'm just throwing stuff around, hitting the walls. This carpet's really gonna keep that looking nice for you. And then right here, you guys will notice this interesting little bump out right here, also carpeted. So maybe you guys didn't catch on to that, but what this is it actually has a solar panel up on top. Your wires are run down through here to your batteries, acts as a trickle charge to those batteries just to keep them topped off for you with your solar panel up on the roof. So that's just covering those wires, again, giving it a really clean, finished look. And then on our right-hand side up top, we've got a clothes bar over there up on the ceiling. Perfect spot for hanging all those extra change of clothes. If you guys are gonna be rodeoing out of this trailer, I know my customers get to a lot of barrel races and rodeos. So all your chains of clothes up there. They've got some kids as well. So if you're bringing change of clothes for your kids, extra rain jackets, anything like that, you've got tons of hanging space. You don't have to eat up your bridle hooks that way. And then down below, stepping up into the nose, also acting as a bench and storage, you have a 12-inch boot box right here. So this is gonna be perfect storage space for anything really. If you guys are using that as sleeping space, you can throw pillows, blankets, sleeping bags in here. Also, I know in mine, I've got tons of extra like fly sheets, blankets, coolers, all that sort of stuff. And you do have carpet in here. I'm showing you guys it is removable. So if something were to spill in here or get dirty, you guys can pull that out and shake it out, clean it out, dry it out, anything like that. If you did get it dirty, helps things clean that way. But whatever you need to store down in here, you've got tons of space. We went full width with this guy. You guys can also go 18 inches if you want it to be deeper. You guys can also shorten it and make it whatever length across your tack room you want. If you did want to shorten this up and add a water tank in this space, that's an option. On this trailer, you guys are going to see a water tank up in that pod once we get back there. And then down on the floor, you guys will check out, we've got Werm flooring in here. Again, my customers love the Werm flooring in all of their space. It's going to be in all of their tack rooms and their trailers and their stall space. They're a big fan of this flooring. It's very nice because it does add that grip factor. I know our wash bay here likes to add tire shine on our rubber mats to really shine them up and make them look nice and black for you guys before you take delivery of your trailers. Those can get really slippery with the tire shine. In here, it's very grippy. You're not going to slide all over your tack room after that gets done. Also protects your floor because this is non-permeable, so nothing's going to drain through. It's seamless. You're not going to have anything seeping down through any cracks either. Good prevention right there, but again, I also just really love that it's grippy. And then as we exit, we've got a third Optobright LED over this entrance as well. So we've got 3 of those big lights up in this front tack space. Stepping out your side ramp right here, we've got a 16-inch awning LED right there. So we're gonna have some of that visibility over your exit space as you're walking towards your tie rings right there. We've also really added a ton of marker lights up on that top rail. We went, let's see how many we did sneak up there. We've got 16 up there on each side. So tons of marker lights. We actually also carried them down the rear post of this trailer. So as you're checking out all those button lights, they're gonna carry along our top rail and then straight down that bottom rail or that rear post back there as well. Then we've also got 2 extra awning lights over our stall lights over there. And then we've got, what I'm really wanting to show you guys on this side is the full polish, which is why I've only got 1 window down right now. But this is gonna give you guys a real good look on this side here that we did go full polish on all of our sheets. Also did that on our top rail, our rocker panel, everything. We went full polish on this one. This is gonna be your best view at it right here, but I think it really does spruce the trailer up. It looks very nice. Just keep in mind when you do have full polish, you're not gonna be wanting to do an acid wash with this trailer. You're gonna be doing a citrus wash. Now over here, another thing that's different and unique to this custom build is gonna be our drop downs on our hip side. Typically with your drops on your hip side, you're just gonna have an open air gap up there. You're not gonna have jail bars. You typically only see those jail bars on our head side over there. This customer has removable dividers in their stall area so that they can use it as also box stalls. So think if you use that space as a box stall, you're gonna have horses, mares, and foals specifically turned loose in there. This could end up being the head side of the trailer for them when they're loose. So I went ahead and did drops with jail bars on all 8 stalls right here. So that is something you guys can do. Keep that in mind if you're looking for your custom build process. And again, with all of our drop down doors, windows, anything like that, we do slam these shut. We just give them a good shove at that latch right there. And then all of your hinges do have grease zerks on both sides. I did point that out to a customer yesterday who was pretty excited to see that you guys can keep these maintained from home with a grease gun, and that they do have that built-in spiral. So when you do work that hinge up and down, it's gonna spiral that grease all the way through there for you. And then charcoal exterior sheeting on this guy. These customers have typically been a black fan in the past. We've gone charcoal on this one. I think it looks really nice, something just a little bit different to change things up. And then as we work our way back, you guys are gonna notice this amber turn signal right here. I do have my 7-pin plugged in up front to a battery box. I've got marker lights turned on to show you guys all of those. I also have my brake lights and my reverse lights turned on. So you guys are gonna notice this amber turn signal is indicating right now as a brake light. It has 2 features, works as your turn signal, also flips on as you step on those brakes. So just a good indicator for everyone else on the road when you have a trailer of this size, kind of what your plans are and what you're doing as you change lanes or step on those brakes. Right below that, you're gonna notice this emblem says Air Ride. We are looking at a triple axle Dexter Airflex system right here, 8,000-pound axles. Then we do have electric over hydraulic disc brakes, big Continentals, 17.5s, Alcoa wheels, and load range J tires. So really, really well set up trailer, wheel, and axle underneath right here. When you have a triple axle air ride, now this is something that has not been done yet, but is unique to Transwest. As I mentioned, this trailer's been here less than 24 hours. So what we do when this trailer first gets here is it goes straight to our wash bay. They're gonna rinse off all that road grime, all those bugs that have come from Oklahoma and Kansas, get it a good clean, and then it's gonna get in line to go through our shop. Something specific that they do on these triple axles with Air Ride right here is they're gonna add an air dump system to your front axle. Now what that's gonna do is it's not gonna lift this tire up off the ground, but it's gonna take all the air out of this bag right here and shift it back to those 2 wheels. So what that's gonna do for you guys is prevent a lot of tweak on this triple axle when you're making tight turns, especially here kind of in this setup like right now what you guys see. We're getting sun on this pavement, it's getting hotter. Pavement itself is a whole lot less forgiving than rocks or gravel, and then making sharp turns. Typically what a lot of customers like to steer away from with the triples is the tweak on those axles. What your air dump is gonna do for you is it's gonna put all your weight back here on these 2 and help you turn as if it were a tandem axle. No other trailer manufacturer or dealership offers that system. We get a lot of calls on it. It is something you can do during your build process. It gets done here at Transwest. As I mentioned, it will get done on this trailer. Just hasn't been done yet, but something pretty cool to just help with the longevity of those triple axles for you guys. Tie rings on both sides, and again, there's those 2 16-inch awning lights right here. While you guys are up there, I want to point out this integrated pod system and our roof line. So what integrated means is it's built into our roof line. It's not a standalone hay pod up there. And now you guys will see that angle that gets up into our pod from our standard roof line is a lot less sloped. It's a lot less steep. So it used to be that slope up there would get pretty straight up and down. Besides aesthetics, it also just adds a little bit more friction when you're pulling, less aerodynamic. So with this slope, we've really leveled that out. You're gonna get a lot more aerodynamic as you flow through there. And then we did extend this customer's pod depth 12 inches versus behind that lid right there. So once your lid shuts, you have an additional 12 inches because of that water tank that we have up there. But we'll get you guys a good view of that in just a little bit as we get back here. I want to get back to our stall area. As we're stepping around, we've got one single big door right here because of our built-in mangers and broom closet. When you guys are loading and unloading, you're only dealing with that one door right there. And then we have a rear ramp right here. You guys, this can be step up, also can be your rear ramp. I'm a big fan of the rear ramps, so are my customers that built this trailer. And as I mentioned, they do plan to utilize this with mares and foals as well with that box stall system. So it helps give them a lot of confidence getting up in there. And then I do have a lot of customers that ask about this easy angle ladder and how it's on a lot of our trailers here on the lot that do not have ramps. One of the big questions is, can I add a ramp to a trailer that has this easy angle ladder? You guys will see that's very possible. The ramp just folds over that ladder, no interference. You guys can also see with that ramp down, we can still utilize that easy angle ladder very well. Climbing up your easy angle ladder, you are gonna get to that integrated pod that I talked about. We're gonna take you guys through a good look up there and show you what it looks like inside that pod. You guys are gonna see your 54-gallon water tank up there, again, shoved way up in the front in that extra 12 inches of space. So you have a lot of space behind that for your hay pod storage. Extra OptiBrite LED up there, again, for visibility on that rear deck extension right there. And then you guys will notice we have this gate back here. So you guys, when you are loading hay up there, you guys have your tractor bucket. Your bucket's gonna go straight up there. You guys can see your gate's kind of in the way, right? Well, that's hinged. So you guys can unlock that AR latch, swing it all the way open, get your bucket flush up there, throw all of your hay onto that deck extension, which is coated in that Tread Bright, aluminum Tread Bright up there. So it's really gonna protect that deck extension, and then throw it all in your pod from there. Close that gate behind you, and then you'll actually have that entire deck extension space for additional storage if you did want to flip over your wheelbarrow and store that guy up there. Lots of options for storage on this trailer. We've got two of those pedestal lights on our rear posts shining back down here, so lots of visibility climbing in and out of this space back here, whether you're loading your pod or loading your horses into this space. As we step in, we've got our safety feature right here, which is our butt strap. So when you do have a horse in this last stall that likes to anticipate and exit the trailer as soon as you open that door, just a good safety feature here to remind them they need to stay in until you get them untied. And then Werm flooring, you guys are gonna see that again in here. We've got our little emblem over here. If you guys are not familiar with Werm flooring, it does stand for We Eliminate Rubber Mats, because what that does is it takes out the need for rubber mats. It is non-porous, so nothing's gonna get through to that aluminum floor underneath. Adds a little bit of cushion, again, that grip factor we talked about in our front tack. Adds an insulating factor, and then as you guys see, no seams. So typically what we always recommend with rubber mat trailers is once a year before you get going hard with it again, take out all those rubber mats, power wash out your trailer, let it dry, and then throw all those mats back in. If you guys have done that, you know kind of what a pain that is, and also that those rubber mats never go back in how they originally were from the factory, right? It's kind of like a big puzzle. Well, with your Werm flooring, you don't have to worry about that. All you gotta do is nose your trailer up, power wash it out, let it dry, and then throw your shavings back in. I always do recommend shavings on top of this floor just because it is non-porous. Your urine's just gonna sit right here on top. I know my geldings won't pee if something's gonna splash them either. So I always recommend something to just soak that up. Now, as we go along, you guys are gonna notice something a little bit different with these dividers. We kind of have an every other theme going on right here. So what you're looking at right here is a partial divider. All of them are gonna be padded, so that theme stays the same. We've got padding everywhere, just nice comfort feature for the horses that do spend a lot of time in this trailer. And then airflow. You guys are gonna notice those bar types are everywhere we go. That's not gonna change. But what you're gonna find on all of our partial dividers is that they are removable. Lock that back in. So up front right here, you guys have AR latches, high and low. I'll step out of your way so you guys can see those. Very easy to use, no tools required. It's just that knob right there. You guys are gonna just pull that high and low, pop those out. That's gonna take this post out, and you guys can actually take all of these partial dividers out. So every other divider is partial, every other one is a solid stud wall. You guys see, by taking this out, you end up with a box stall right here. You're gonna end up with several box stalls as we go throughout this trailer. And the partial's removable because that's gonna be a lot less weight for you to carry. They are aluminum, they are thick aluminum. They're still gonna be a little bit heavy and a little bit kind of wonky just because of the shape. We do recommend 2 people to pull these out, but you have versatility right there. And again, no tools required to do any of that. So now we're gonna get a good look at our first stud wall right here. Padded divider on all of them, airflow. We did carry the airflow from the shoulders all the way across the hips. You guys are building a trailer. I've got one customer right now looking at building a 6-horse, and what he's looking at optioning is doing solid right here. So solid over their shoulders and then bars over their hips. You guys have that option. You guys can interchange those. This one we went bars all the way across and then full stud wall to the floor. So you're getting a full wall right here. These are, you guys seen that kind of jump open at me? They're double springed. So all of our stud walls are double springed so that even though we're on a slope right now, it's gonna jump over there and pretty much hold itself open as well, even though we're on a little bit of a slope right here. Next, another partial right here. So you guys are gonna take that one out. Now you're looking at your second box stall space right here. And that's why I went ahead and did those drops with jail bars over here, so that either way you're gonna have jail bars all the way around, ventilation all the way around in all of your box stalls. Another stud wall right here, full wall. Then we've got another partial right here. So now we're on to our third box stall right here. This guy, all these partials are removable. And then another stud wall, a full wall right here. And then we got something a little bit different in front of this one. I know we're getting all the way up to the front now. This one right here, we've got a full stud wall to the floor, and then didn't carry it all the way across, mostly because if we're gonna be using this space, this one's gonna be for storage right here with our escape door located on the front. Check that out once we get outside. But still full stud wall right here. So if you do use it as storage, nothing's gonna slide through and get to these horses or mares and foals, whatever we have in this space over here. But again, full padding. Guys will see kick mats all the way around, double spring on that divider as well. And then all of your walls in your Cimarron horse trailer models are all lined and insulated. So all of this white lining that you guys see is all lined and insulated. Same with your roof. Standard on all Cimarron trailers is an insulated roof material. You guys don't get to see that in this space on this one because of that integrated pod is built in. You're gonna have lined ceilings right here, but you still do have that Cimarron roof that you guys know and love up top. Adds your R3 thermal value. It's 1/2 inch thick, so dent resistant to a baseball size hail. You just don't get to see that right here. You guys will also notice in this space, we do have a couple roof vents favored up front here in front of our pod. We can have a little bit of air coming through those guys. We just don't get them towards the rear with a full integrated pod, but you do get 4 of them snuck in here. Mangers on every single stall, so even your front stall right here, you're gonna have a manger on that escape door. Every single stall is also gonna have 2 tie rings. So all that stays the same. And then this one is your escape door. We can check that out on the outside as well, but you guys can get in and out through that door and utilize this space as storage or still use it for a horse with that manger right there. Taking you back to our right-hand side, every single stall is gonna have an OptiBrite LED and a stall fan. So those are gonna be controlled off of the light switches at the rear post. I'll show you guys those when we get outside. But every single stall gets one of those. Keeps that visibility in here with those OptiBrites. You guys can see the white sheeting really opens it up and brightens it up too. So a couple themes with this trailer: visibility, light, and then airflow. By having all airflow dividers, full drops on both sides, stall fans in here, and roof vents where we could. We've got a lot of good air movement moving through here. They do spend a lot of time down in Texas, so that's kind of why we're looking for something with a lot of airflow. They also do just travel a lot too. So anywhere that they go, whatever state they end up in, no matter what the temperature is going to be, they're going to be able to work this trailer how they need to, whether it's close it up and keep it warm and comfortable and insulated in here, or just open it up and really get that air moving. They've got all kinds of options with this trailer. So again, pretty unique stall space back here. Lots of fun options. You guys think about how you need to use these trailers, and Cimarron will help you dream up your perfect trailer as well. But I did want to show you guys, so if you hang out right there, I'm just going to shut this door and show you guys some of our light switches. I have had a couple customers in the past ask where they are, and I get real forgetful about showing those off. So we've got a couple different sets on this trailer. So right hand post over here is going to be controlling stall lights inside your trailer, which we just saw, and then this switch over here is doing our awning lights on our right hand over those tie rings. So all three are right there. These two that I have flipped off are those stall fans inside. Your left hand set is controlling those first 4 stalls. Your right hand set is controlling those last 4 stalls. So those are stall fans. Love that you can control the entire trailer independently. And then those are a couple lights right there. Down here you guys will see that we do have our brake lights turned on as well as our reverse lights. That's going to be standard on all Cimarron trailers now, is that your reverse light is built into your tail light. We've got 2 on each side. Working our way over here to our other lights switch controls right here. It's going to be your left hand LEDs right here. This is going to be your pedestal lights up top. And this is going to be light inside of your broom closet. So stepping around to our broom closet, I'll show you guys right there as I'm flipping that light. You guys have your OptiBrite LED up inside of that space. So that's where this switch is back here on your rear post. And then something we did differently in here is we actually notated the height of these bridle hooks. So again, I mentioned full custom. I mean full custom with these. You guys can notate exactly where you want everything located, where your lights are located, the exact height of your bridle hooks. We went 60 inches up off the floor so that when you hang your pitchforks and brooms up here, the handles don't hit the floor. You've got enough clearance right there that when you set those in there, they're not way up in the air. You can still very easily just step right up here, set them up here, and then your handles are just going to hang perfectly and not hit the floor. What they did right here is they opted to not add a fold down step, so they're not having to monkey with that fold down step. That fold down step is not preventing them from getting up close into this space. They can be able to walk right up here, grab their pitchforks, grab their brooms, or fill their water buckets, because we have a built-in spigot right here for that 54-gallon water tank that you guys saw up in that hay pod. This is your spigot right here. Back fills up to your 54 gallons up top. And then also, of course, gravity feeds back down here to fill water buckets. You guys can water right off of your trailer right here. I know, speaking from experience, you just don't know where you're gonna park. Even if you're just at a barrel jackpot at your local fairgrounds, you could end up, especially with a trailer of this size, most likely in the back of the parking lot. You don't want to be carrying buckets for 8 head of horses all the way from the fairgrounds. If you're at a rodeo, they probably don't have spigots except for up near the livestock, up against the rodeo arena. You guys can get parked way far away. You're climbing mountains, grass parking lots, wherever. You don't have to carry buckets now. You have 54 gallons right here at your convenience, located inside of your broom closet. We do have a combination lock on our broom closet. We're also going to see that on our front tack as well. But you guys can have a keyed handle as well as combination. Working our way forwards, we've got mangers on every single stall. So you're going to see that manger access on all of every single stall. We've got a door for every single manger. And we also have drop-down windows on our head side with those same jail bars. You guys can also drop down your jail bars and get in there and access your horses. If you are hauling those mares and foals, you want to just get in there and check on them. You want to fill your mangers, you want to set a bucket of water in there. You just want to let them stretch their heads out if you're pulled over getting fuel or stuck in traffic. If you want to come out here, whatever it may be, you guys can get in there and access them, and then close this back up. as you get going on that back on the road, keep them safely in your trailer. All of our drop downs do lock into place, so even on your hip side, they're all going to pop into a socket. They're not going to catch the wind and go blowing up through the air and cause any damage to your trailer. They also have a built-in sliding bus window. So if you don't want that much ventilation, same as your hip windows, you guys can just pop those open, crack those roof vents, and keep your drops all the way closed. Mangers on every single one. We've got our smaller doors right here over our axles, but they all lead to the same space. And you're also going to notice the entire back wall of these mangers is lined with that gray rubber tread flooring. That's just really going to protect that back wall, especially with all these bridle hooks that we have located in these mangers. And also that space that you guys are checking out to where you can just set extra water buckets, especially because your water spigot's right there. You guys can throw your water buckets in there, hoses, feed pans, grain bags. That gray rubber is phenomenal in that space to protect it, and then also doesn't quite keep and maintain and hold the smell and water that typical carpet would do. Right here, you guys are checking out an oversized manger door. We've got a big one when we can do that in front of the axles right here. And then up front, we have this really cool oversized flip-up manger door. So when you have enough space on two stalls right here, you can actually combine that door into one and make it a giant flip-up. And then you guys can locate a second spare tire. We've actually got one up front under the gooseneck where you guys always see them. We've got a second one right here, just because we know these customers do hit the road a lot. They do put a lot of miles on their trailers, and we don't want them to ever be stranded if they do happen to have tire issues. Maybe it's over the 4th of July, they can't get to a tire shop, they've already used one spare, now they've got a second one. So never hurts to just have plan B and plan C right here. Fits very well inside this flip-up manger door. It's very easy to get in here and access it. And as my coworker mentioned the other day, also provides some nice shade. If you do need to end up sitting on the side of the road changing a tire, you've got some nice shade cover right here. But also just really good access space right here. And it's on gas shocks, so it is currently holding itself up. Just can flip it back down on those gas shocks and it will shut itself as well. Up here on our escape door, we do have a manger on that as well. So you do still have manger access right there. Just a nice little cubby hole for some smaller items right there, and just fully utilizing all of your storage space possible inside of this trailer. And then your door does swing open with that manger on it. So if you did need to use that stud wall for storage, you also do have a fold down step on this access point to get in there. Make your life a whole lot easier if you're climbing in and out. Especially being 8 wide, you're not going to have running boards on this trailer. And then back to our front tack on this side right here. So we did do a giant 42-inch swing right here, nice big oversized door. Carried that full carpet that we saw in our front tack on the door as well. And then went ahead and did 2 brush trays right here. You're just gonna see those combo lock boxes right here. But 2 brush trays to just utilize some extra storage on this door, to have those smaller quick grab items right here. Keep them up off the floor of your front tack. Don't have to go looking for them inside of that boot box. They're just right there. I've got fly spray in there right now, all my brushes, extra rubber bands, hoof picks, extra quick wraps for my horse's feet, all kinds of stuff. Those, if I end up with like a extra Chicago screw or concho, I throw that in there. Usually forget about it, but nice to have 2 of them because you can never have too much storage space. Another fold down step climbing in and out of this space as well. So you just got 2 access points to that front tack. This one's on your hold back. And then this one also has that combo lock on it. So you guys can fully lock up this entire trailer. All of your drop down windows lock, all of your doors lock, all of your escape doors will lock with paddle latches as well. So if you do use this as your mobile tack room, you're at BBR finals in OKC and you're back in the stall area, your trailer's parked in that back lot with everyone else's trailers, you guys can fully lock up this entire trailer and feel safe about whatever you've kept inside of here. Again, stepping back and getting one good last look at our charcoal exterior sheeting, our full polish aluminum sheets down the side, full polished top rail. And if you guys peek up high enough, you might be able to see that solar panel sitting up on top there as well. That's what's trickle charging our batteries under this trailer. Actually, real quick before we get up to the front, I want you to look at that top of the hay pod as well. The top of that lid is made out of that same insulated roof material as the rest of the Cimarron trailer. So even the top of your pod is also insulated and dent resistant to that baseball size hail. So that's something new they've been doing as well. Now under our nose, I mentioned this was a 9-foot nose because of our front end enclosure. This is going to be that front end enclosure, just kind of like a garage door. Rolls down and protects this space from any rocks or road debris that fly up in here. There's that original full-size matching spare tire in here. But then over here, we've got an aluminum battery box that is also lockable. And inside you're gonna find 2 batteries. So just simply because of the amount of lights on this trailer and because it is air ride, we just feel better about throwing 2 batteries on board. We do have a battery disconnect switch right here. So if you guys do accidentally leave a light on and you don't wanna kill your batteries, you're running into town for food or errands, just flip that off so you don't kill them. And then we do have a RedArc charger built in. This is just also going to help maintain those batteries, keep them fully charged when they do charge off of your 7-pin. Over to our right, a couple things over here. First, you're going to find this lever right here, which is going to help you manually crank your jacks up and down. If you were to kill your batteries, not have power, can't get them jumped, you're in an emergency bind and you need these jacks up or down, you guys can manually crank them with that guy. And then over here, that Dexter Airflex system, it is fully on board. So it has its own onboard compressor and it is auto leveling. You guys don't need to worry about anything with this system other than on and off, raise and lower, and your drain valve. So if you do turn it to on and leave it at lower, all it's gonna do is just build pressure within this system. It's not actually going to put the air to your bags, which is great if you do still need to load horses on this trailer or mares and foals and you don't want it to raise up. Keep in mind, this air ride will raise your trailer about 4 inches, so it makes your ramps a little bit steeper. But if you do on and lower, it will build pressure. When you're loaded and ready to go, flip it down here to raise, and it will throw air at all of those bags and lift it up. When you're done, turn it to off and turn it to lower. You guys will see it does push most of the air out of the system itself, and that's fine if you're going to leave it for a day or 2, but we always do recommend if you're going to leave it for a long period of time, you're going to pull that string straight towards you and you will see it pushes all the air out of the system. So what you want to do is just get it all the way back to 0. Sometimes you can kind of work that around a little bit. There you go, all the air is out, it's back at 0. And we just recommend that because if you were to leave a little bit of air in there, you get through some extreme temperatures, you're going to end up with some condensation in there, and we don't want water in our lines. So just like to keep that drained right there. Over here you get a good look at your equalizer jacks. Equalizers are my favorite because they have that manual override. And then up top you're going to see your hydraulic fluid for your electric over hydraulic disc brakes right there. Your controls for your electric jacks right here. And then one more thing I want to point out is when you do have your air dump on this trailer, you are going to get an indicator light located right here. For if you guys were imagining you up there right now sitting in your truck looking down the rail of this trailer, you're going to get a little orange light right here that will indicate when that air dump is turned on. You guys are kind of seeing it pre-shot process because I was so excited to show it to you, but also good to point out and show that what we do to these trailers here at Transwest before we get them to our customers, that they do go through that shop process. They do get the air dump system installed on triple axles, and they do just get a good full inspection front to back to make sure all of your dividers latch easily, all your doors. You guys seen how many drop windows we have on this trailer. Make sure all of those function as they should. And all of the keys lock. Just some things that we do like to check here before we deliver these trailers. But we did go through a lot today. I'm glad to share this spec sheet with you, work up a custom build for you guys to duplicate something similar to this, but this one is sold. If you guys have any questions on this one, you want to work on one of your own, you guys can still reference this stock number. It's going to be 5N250-118. It is a 2026 Cimarron Northstar 8-horse gooseneck. These customers are getting full warranties from Cimarron, 8-year on the structure and 3-year hitch to bumper. Cimarron is phenomenal to work with. I don't know what number of Cimarron trailer they're on at this point, so they have a bunch of them. They keep coming back because they like the Cimarron trailer itself and the company to work with. So if you guys have any questions, thanks so much for hanging with me. My name is Michaela Hall. You guys can email me at michaela.hall@transwest.com. You guys can call me or shoot me a text at 303-918-6367. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.